was a B, right? And then we did the trailer, which was a C. Now we're coming back doing an A. You know, I did that the other day, but you didn't film me doing it. So,
Right.
so on an A pre-trip, I start out here because what am I looking for?
No leaks, and if it leans to the
Correct. So I'm looking for leaks. I don't see any puddles. It could be transmission fluid, power steering fluid, coolant, or engine oil. So I need to tell him what could be leaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also checking that the truck's sitting level. If it weren't, I could have a flat tire or a broken suspension part. Then I go up top. I've got 5 cab lights, 5 marker lights, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. They're amber in color and they're clean. My windshield is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and the weather stripping is not worn, torn, or frayed. My fender mirrors are securely mounted. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged, and they're clean. And then I have headlights, which serve as low beams and high beams. They're securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and they're clear in color. Then I have a blinker, 4-way flasher, running light, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. They serve as left and right, 4-ways, and running lights. And I've got a reflector on each side that's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and they're both amber in color. From there I can open the hood. There we go. So I'll start over here, and it's the same engine as that teal truck, so everything's the same as what we saw the other day. I've got my air filter box securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, or worn, torn, or frayed. All the clamps are tight, and I even go so far as to say when the hood is closed, it shouldn't leak because that gasket seals on my hood, right?
Okay.
All right, and then I have all my hoses. They're all securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, worn, torn, or frayed. They're not leaking, and all of the clamps are tight. So I'm checking all my hoses, okay? Then I have my alternator. It's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. The wiring harnesses are securely mounted, not worn, torn, or frayed, and my alternator is belt driven. So my belt is securely mounted, not worn, torn, or frayed, and it has between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch of deflection. Got to tell him that. So I got to tell him how it's driven. That's one of my 4 items. I got to tell him how they're driven. My water pump, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking, and it is gear driven, okay? And that's all I got to talk about over here. We can go to the other side. Not a whole lot going on this side. We'll finish everything else over here. So I've got my coolant reservoir. It's securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking, and it's filled to the proper level. If it were not, I would make it full. And before we close the hood, I'm gonna let you hop up there and pull the cap off and make sure it's full, because it's hard to see. Make sure we got enough coolant in it before we start running. All right, so then I've already talked about this hose because I got it from the other side. So now I'm gonna talk about power steering. So I've got 3 things I've got to talk about: the reservoir, the hoses, and the power steering pump. So my reservoir is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, filled to the proper level. If it were not, I would make it full. It's not leaking. The hoses are securely mounted, not worn, torn, or frayed. They're not leaking. And the power steering pump is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking, and it is gear driven, okay? This is my oil dipstick. I would remove it, wipe it clean, fully reinsert it, pull it back out, check the level. If it's low, I would start by adding a gallon, okay? Then behind it, I have my air compressor and governor. Securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, not leaking, and it is gear driven. And all of the hoses, securely mounted, not worn, torn, or frayed, cracked, broken, or damaged, and they're not leaking. Then I have my steering components. So my steering column, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, is properly lubricated. My steering gearbox is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking, and all of the bolts are in place and tight, none are missing. Pitman arm, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It has a castle nut with a Carter key. Drag link, securely mounted, not bent, broken, or cracked. Castle nuts and Carter keys. No illegal welds. I have an upper and a lower steering knuckle that are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and they have castle nuts and Carter keys. And then I have my tie rod end, which is the threaded part there, and my tie rod itself, which is this guy. Securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's got a castle nut with a Carter key. So now we'll do suspension. Front leaf spring hanger and rear leaf spring hanger. Securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, properly lubricated. My leaf springs are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, no illegal welds, and they're not shifted or missing. My U-bolts are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, and I have 4 nuts in place and tight on the bottom. And my shock absorber, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. The bushings are not worn, torn, or frayed, and my shock's not leaking. Okay. Airline, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, worn, torn, or frayed, not leaking. Brake chamber, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, not leaking. Brake clamp is tight. Slack adjuster, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Push rod right here, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, connected with that 1 dowel pin with Carter key. And with my brakes released, I shouldn't be able to pull that push rod more than 1 inch. Then I have my inside and outside wheel rim, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, no illegal welds, no foreign contaminants, no visible gap or rust between the bead of the tire and the rim. My brake drum, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, no illegal welds or foreign contaminants, no missing hardware. My brake linings are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, no foreign objects or contaminants, and they're not worn dangerously thin. Okay? Then I have my lug nuts. Nope, I got my tire. Let's do the tire. Securely mounted, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. My tread wear is even, and I have a minimum of full 30 seconds of tread depth. I would check with a tread depth gauge, and my tire is not leaking. Yep. Lug nuts, securely mounted, no, not cracked, bent, or broken. I would look for rust trails or shiny threads if one was loose. My axle hub seal, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, not leaking. I could pull the cap and check the level if I needed to. And I have a valve stem right here, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, not leaking. It's got a metal cap, and I would check my air pressure with a tire gauge. That's an A pre-trip. That's it.